In this video, we're going to be covering this paper style animation. Now, as you guys can see, this might remind you of the rescue event by Iman Gadzi that was around 1 year ago. And that is because this editor took inspiration from the rescue event itself. And so we're gonna be covering everything all the way from getting the assets to making this final animation. So stay tuned for that. But before we dive into the video, I want to tell you guys about my newly launched editing community, Editors League. In Editors League, we cover everything from the beginner's guide, the advanced techniques, how to build a crazy personal brand, editing like all these influencers, and deep dives of how to edit like Iman Gadzi, and most importantly, obviously, a like-minded active community which I've built to 135 members almost in just the span of 4 weeks. So yeah, click on the first link in the description below and take your next best move. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys want to follow the progress, then I put up the assets in the second link below, and now we can dive right into After Effects. So by the way guys, I get a lot of requests for, these motion tools, this and this. Everything is in Editors, like whatever you guys want to find, just join up Editors League. I have like a very huge list of all the plugins and everything that you need, so that's gonna be there. But anyways, the first thing we want to do is create a composition. So click on create a composition and pretty much just make the frame rate, for example, 24 FPS, and everything else just leave it like this. And then I have the raw footage, so what I'll do is import it, and we're gonna basically be covering 2 parts from it, right? We have this part, now we have this Alex Hormozi part, okay? And then in Editors League I covered like 3-4 more animations. But anyways, let's start with our first literal scene. The first thing I want to do is get like a cracked paper texture. So I'm writing cracked paper texture. You guys can see we found something similar in FreePic, and obviously there's a lot more that we're gonna find. We have this, which is not bad. I don't want to spend too much time on finding something like the texture. So once I find like a suitable result, I'm just gonna use it. By the way, for you guys, you can follow this, but just click on the second link in the description and you'll find all the assets completely for free. So here we go. I found, let's say, the texture that we want. Similar, not too similar, to do the job. But it does have a watermark, as you guys can see. I guess it might go away if I do invert. No, it does not. So I'll find another one. Alright, I found this, which is slightly better. Now what we want to do, right, is we want to add a bit of whiteness to it, just like how he had. And I think with curves, we might be able to. If I just go to curves over here, add a bit of points, see, add a bit of more whiteness. However, it's not as much as we want. This might do a good significant difference. And then maybe if I add, let's say, okay, so we have this. Let's not overcomplicate the process and keep it simple, right? We have this. And what I want to do over here, first move, is we want to add our text. And the text is going to say 13th of July, 2021. So 13th July, all right, this is gonna be it. And then I will go here and check out our color, make it this color, and you just want to make this bigger, right, so it fits this much. And then we want to change up the font, or actually I found a similar font. It's called Autographer, and let's change this font to Autographer. You guys can see, very similar font, very nice looking. And I would just want to select 13th, just want to select the text 13th, and kind of want to adjust this by taking it down and then taking it up, perhaps. Or we can make this process simpler. It's just write up 13 July. I don't know why it changed up the font, but yeah, Autographer font. Have this in the middle, select this, make it bigger, add one more space, all right, just so we can fit in the 13th. So we have this. So it looks like this Autographer font does not support numbers, so that's weird. That means we're gonna have to find another font. Scratch that part. Okay, so now that we have the font, which is Bendurgan, I'll just write 13th July, all right? I already wrote it, but deleted it by mistake. But anyways, so now we have this, as you guys can see, and I just want to add a bit more gap between this because it's too close, right? It's a bit too close, 13. And what I want to do is I want to take this and kind of change the font for that one. And now you guys can see it is like this, 13th July. Now to add this 13th July above, basically you want to go and alter this one and take it up like this, as you guys can see. And then we can even kind of adjust where it is. But yeah, 13th July, this looks good. All right, 13th July. And pretty much what I want to do here is duplicate this, change it to white color, and write up 2021, scale it down, place it over here, decrease the gap. By the way, this gap is too much. Not sure why the year is 2021, but it is, who cares. And we want to kind of make this a bit more italic by just doing this. Cool. Maybe bold this out a little bit, as you guys can see, just by doing this. Even bold the part above a little bit. Not sure if bold is needed, actually. Yeah, like this looks cool, looks cool. Now we want to add like another paper type thing over here. And I already had these tapes, you know, so I'll just search up a sticky tape and let's see what we can find. No, not this. So just go to Google, search up tape PNG. You guys will already have the assets. So you guys will see the file will be named as file. And what you want to do is pretty much just take this down and mask out whatever we need, like this part, for example. All right, mask the shit out, scale it down, place it almost over here and take it down. All right, so we have this tape, and now we want to pretty much just write up our text on it. So the text is gonna say new business era. Obviously this thing is messed up, so I'm just gonna reset character and pretty much use a font called Far from Homecoming. Make it all the way black, rotate it around the anchor point. Just check how much does this have. This has -10, so I will copy and paste it, and now just have it like this. And I can see it looks like it's stamped onto the paper, which is something that I fucking love. So new business era will say this. Just make this bolded out so it's easier to read, and boom, we have our nice text like this. And would you believe me if I said this was all for the first scene? No, because it's not. So first thing, parent the new business era to the file. All right, and what we want to do is we want to do a handwritten effect, which is something that's really nice effect. And the way it works is you want to put this in focus mode, for example, and I will show you guys a trick on how to do the handwritten effect better than anyone else. So you want to go here, you want to go to your pen tool, make a stroke size, I don't know, 10, 15. All right, make the stroke any color. I'll just make it red because red is easy to differentiate. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to do this. Okay, you want to cover the text like how you guys are seeing in this way. And so what happens is we are going to do a certain trick, which I will cover. I'm just smoothing this out, you know, I'm basically redrawing. So it is done manually though. So you have to redraw, you know, this stuff one by one. I'm redrawing this, boom. This, by the way, takes significant amount of time, honestly. But it does make a very nice handwritten effect. And you can do this in another way, which is with the stroke effect. But I just like to do it this way because it is a bit more accurate with results, right? It is much more accurate with results. However, it does make the process a bit longer. So I'm just redrawing all of this, you know, in this exact same manner. You guys can pretty much copy what I'm doing with the pen tool, just the way I'm doing all of this redrawing. It's not the first time I do this, by the way. I have done this before in one of the tutorials, but I don't think you guys will identify or find or know where I did it exactly because I don't remember myself. And now we're almost coming to the end, to the July text. Okay, I'm not gonna hand draw everything just so we can save a bit of time over here. I mean, I am gonna hand draw, but I mean, I won't show everything, but because you guys know the process for hand drawing by now. And pretty much I'm just cooking some shit over here, cooking some nice stuff. Boom, boom, boom. This is done. Go here, deselect, make the U. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. L is easiest letter, almost very easy to do. By the way, make sure you don't accidentally select like any mask or something. Then you'll realize that it's not actually drawing. So you have to deselect the way I am. You can literally just click here, deselect, and then create a new shape layer. So every handwritten thing, I'm making a new shape layer instead of having all of them on one shape layer. I will be covering how to do this in another manner in one of the other videos, which is actually kind of easier. But right now, I just want to show you, like, guys, smaller, like a method that I like. So now we basically redraw this, right? And what happens when we redraw? We wanna do something. And what is it that we wanna do? Okay, you guys can see. You wanna put both of these in focus mode, and we wanna add trim path. So go from here, from below the first text. You wanna go here, press on the arrow, add, and trim path. And the trim path is basically going to be around only 12 frames. So it's gonna be really, really fast. Make it from 0. So you guys can see, basically we're drawing, right? We're drawing. And you wanna go do F9 and just do this graph. Just do this graph. And then you wanna copy this whole trim path and paste it around all of them. So now you guys can see. But however, we wanna sequence it. So let's see where we want this whole thing to end. Considering, for example, let's say we want our thing to end here. Now we want to sequence this one by one. So I think it's going to be 2 frames. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just doing it in sequence. And now you guys can see it is basically doing this. And it's amazing. And pretty much we have the last part of it left, which is recomposing all of this, naming it as shape reveal. Alright, shape reveal. And then track matting. If you guys don't see the track mat, click over here, do this, and link it to shape reveal. And now see what's happening. Our actual text layer is revealing text. And this is an amazing trick, done very efficiently and done very fast. Boom, amazing. I love it. Pretty much we want to do the same for the 2021 text. So you guys know already how to do it. I'll just do this quickly and I'll come back. So now pretty much I have done this, alright, and we want to do the last thing, which you guys remember in the starting we parented our new business era text to this file PNG, right? What we want to do is go over here on rotation, okay, add a wiggle. Let's say frequency is gonna be like 2, and then the amplitude is gonna be very less as well. So you can see this is moving slowly. However, we want this to like push rest time, so for it to lag, feel like it's giving laggy vibes. So I'll make this 4. So now you guys can see this is how it is. Amazing. That's exactly what we wanted. Now we want to add our last freaking effect on this, which is also very, very easy. You just want to go here, animate, let's say position, go to add, and then make it selector wiggly. Just take this a bit higher, and now you guys can see there is this little wiggly effect happening. But actually I undid the wiggly and there is a certain problem. But to fix that problem, basically, I just want to wait for this animation to finish, and I want to do a cut immediately. Alright, even for the shape reveal layer, I will do a cut and I will untrack matte this. It doesn't need to have any matte. Alright, and go here again, do the same thing, animate, position. I'll tell you what this wiggly thing does, right? It's really amazing. Go here, wiggly, and in wiggly, or not in wiggly, just do this position. Alright, and see what's happening. This moves. However, this is too much, so we want to make this by like barely 5, so it will move a little bit. Okay, this is like a little wiggly effect, which is really easy to implement, but I want this to build up instead of like happening randomly, because it feels like there is a cut. So I'll do from 0 to 5, and then the wiggly happens, right? We can even increase the wiggly, make it like 8 maybe, but I'm thinking to maybe add an expression to this for posterized time. I want to see what will that do, and I'll have the posterized time, let's say 5. Okay, I don't think it does any much of a difference, because the actual expression is going into the wiggly, not here. So I can just remove this, get rid of the expression. I'm not sure where it will go, but anyways, it's fine. So here we have this little wiggly. The same thing we want to do, copy this animator one and literally just paste it for this shit, and now you guys can see even this one is moving. However, because there is a little shape layer, this thing is happening, and now you guys can see all of this has movement, which is pretty much what we wanted, right? We just wanted this to happen, and it's very easy. Like, this is all we need. So I have this little reveal thing, which basically I will put it up over here, and you guys can see what this reveal will do. It will reveal our thing in a very specific manner, and what I want to do is I want to scale this down. Okay, scale this down so that it fits the tape, and you guys will understand what I will do now. And just wait for this to fully reveal, and then do freeze, actually do a cut over here and then do freeze on last frame. So now you guys can see this is how it will reveal. which is exactly what we want, right? And I will just parent this to our file, and then I will use the file to track matte basically through this reveal. Now you guys can see this is what's happening, and even the new business era is gonna track matte through that. So this is how it is revealing. Amazing. And just to indicate that these are all the same, like the same hierarchy, I'll just mark this, and I actually can just pre-compose this, right? New business era, just so it's not confusing. I have this as new business era, and then all of this I will just make it 13th July text. And so now we have everything organized in this manner. Perfect. Now we have, you know, just the camera movement left, which is going to be in the next scene. So what I will do is pretty much just cut all of this because we don't need it, and pre-compose it, and it's going to be this much. And now in this over here, in this part, we want the new Alex Hormozi scene. As you guys can see, this is how it will look. So all of the assets are already in the description. I'll just find them and import these. So I just searched up for a quick like Rockefeller house, whatever, old house, New York, and I'm just gonna copy this and take it into Adobe Background Remover and import it. So that's what you will already have the version for. So I'll just take this bigger, do this. I'm gonna add like a little curves effect. Okay, and what this curves effect is gonna do is give us contrast. Okay, what we need is contrast, like this, exactly. And then just make this significantly bigger, I mean. And this is gonna be covered up, all right, over here by Alex Hormozi or whatever. I'm not sure what brought all the buildings, but that's like the style that he went for. And then we have this PNG. By the way, we wanna add hue saturation and curves as well. And in the hue saturation, we just wanna decrease the saturation to 0. If it has any saturation, either ways. So now this creates this nice effect. So we have the airplane, we have this. Just decrease the size of the airplane. So we need this building, which is basically Empire State Building, I think. Obviously, ChatGPT told me what building it was. I think it is Empire State Building. And I'm just gonna write PNG instead of having to cut out anything at all. It looks like this is gonna work. So free download, import this shit. You guys can see. Here we have the import. Just fit it in this way and do the exact same things, bro. Paste. And now we have this nice building. Maybe we can contrast this building out a bit more. Okay, cool. And then we need the Alex Hormozi standing on stage image, which is basically this exact same image, just as I compare it. Go here, save this image. Yeah, we don't need to like, you know, really cut out anything. Again, you guys have these assets. I don't know how many times I keep mentioning that because I'm retarded. And there is this file called file 4, and pretty much this is like a different frame of Alex Hormozi catching, you know, the book. So what we want to do, all right, is just cut this part out because this is all we need. Do it like this, and then place it in a way that it looks almost unnoticeable, as you guys can see right now. Perfect. This makes significantly more sense. So now I'm just gonna link this, or I'm just gonna pre-compose both of these. All right, let me scale. First thing, I will parent, then I'll scale this down and pre-compose both of these. Now we can rasterize these layers, so act like these layers are on top, and you know, scale them up a little bit. Cool. Now, wow, I mean, this guy, he spent some time on this fucking scene, bro. I'm telling you. We want to go on the inside on Alex and pretty much, you know, hue on him. We want to colorize him a little bit and then saturate him. So make sure he's less saturated, but make him more towards the yellowy side. So you guys can see it's not exactly black and white, it's actually like a tone of gray. So you can see it will kind of stand out on the outside. We can make it a bit more significant, that's fine. Here we go. And then we just want to add contrast to the curves effect we had, but this curves is not good. So first thing, take this down, and then we want to, yeah, it is similar, not exactly the same. Cool. Now this is how it looks. And this curves, it was supposed to be done on the inside, not outside. So like this, yeah. So this is what we got, boys. Now we have a couple more things left, which is, you know, the very last part. The assets is the biggest problem, which I felt like I fixed it for you guys by just providing all the assets. However, you know, in the process while I'm making this video, it is taking me time to literally find these assets, which is annoying. So first thing, we have this hand, another hand, which does have a fucking watermark. So I'll remove it. So we added this podium also. I mean, it's not that great of a podium, not like what he had, but unfortunately I couldn't find what he had actually, so it's fine. What I want to do is I just want to mask out the microphone by doing this and then subtract it, and pretty much just do the same thing we were doing, which is copy and then paste the contrast and the curves we needed on the podium. So we have almost like a lot of things done from here. Obviously this looks a bit messy, so I'm gonna do this, and over here the contrast is gonna be significantly higher. You guys can see, same for this case, but not that much. I just think he picked like a, you know, a black hand. Meanwhile over here we have a white hand. That's fine, and this one is gonna be a lot more contrasted, as you guys can see. And then I'm gonna increase the lightness a little bit, so you guys can see this is what we have. And then let's say we just need 3 more assets over here, which is going to be the thing that is holding, you know, the new offer era, and the images taken over here. By the way, these assets, they take a lot of time, for fuck's sake. I hate the rescue style just because of how much assets it has. And then there is this little microphone thing, you know, it's file 6, and pretty much just cut it out and put it up in this way, make it go below the podium. By the way, I'm just renaming the files because I'm lost out on over here. Podium, just for me to look at for the podium, it took me some time. So yeah, this is pretty much what we need for the microphone. Scale it up a little bit, and again the same contrast and curves thing, copy paste this shit. For this one we want to add a bit of saturation to it. I'm gonna colorize it and take it to the color almost this, and then saturate it a little bit, so now you guys can see. The podium also we want to add the same hue, so you guys can see. Now this is how it looks before, this is how it looks after. Okay, now we have just a couple more things left, so you guys can see. This is kind of the vibe, paparazzi taking picture. I don't know, it's weird, but it is what it is. I'll just save this shit, put it up over here, put it below the podium, below almost everything actually. I'm just gonna do a cut like this, alright, just like you guys can see. You want to cut this guy out. It doesn't have to be that accurate, by the way. Pretty much we just want to give it a kind of a shaky look. So boom, do this and cut. So now you guys can see this is how it looks. Obviously it looks not that good, but what we want to do is we want to kind of cover it up. So I think all of this I will delete. I will make new points to make this subject to be able to be the one that is on the sides. So in this way, again, it doesn't have to be that accurate, just in this way, because we're going for a papery style anyway, so if it's not accurate also it's fine. I'll extend this out and I'll move it to the left side, so now the podium will cover it out. I'll do this, and cool, this is how it looks. Now another thing I want to do is just for the building to show more, I'll do this type of cut as well. So now the building has to show a bit more, you know guys. Maybe I'll cut this guy out, not sure if I cut that guy out. Maybe just take this down a little bit. Doesn't have to make that much sense, honestly. This is how it looks, right? So the building is showing a bit more, and let's take this building and scale it up a little bit and do this. So now we have almost everything. We just have the last couple of parts left. So one of the last things that are left is just a sign stick. There is a few more assets that he kind of has that we might not have, but fuck it, it doesn't matter. The whole concept is that just we want to replicate this style, and yeah. So let me just add the sign stick and we complete, you know, the poster part, and then we will get into things like the movement, the stroke, and all of that, which will be amazing. So add the same curves effect to the sign stick, and pretty much you want to add the text that will say new offer era. I'm gonna go with the font Far From Home because it is similar. Scale this shit down, make it all caps, add a bit of more gap, make it bold, and pretty much do this. And what we want to do is go to paragraph. Okay, so paragraph will be somewhere here, and make this in the middle, just so this is placed in this way. And then I will just parent this so they're stuck. Okay, new offer era in this way. And then you need this old Vecteezy paper, whatever I named it. And pretty much, you know, what we're gonna do is, instead of, because we don't have sides on our podium, I will just stick this over here and put it below the hands but above the podium. And what I will do, okay, is let me scale this down a little bit more, and I will add an effect called overlay. So see what happens when we overlay. Basically this will happen. However, I don't want it to overlay actually, but rather create a bit of a texture. So you guys can see the difference. If I do hard light, it feels like it's stuck onto it. And that's pretty much what I want. The podium in this I'll change colors just so we can identify. Let me put both of these in focus mode by clicking up over here. And I will take this text, duplicate it, which says new offer era, and just bring it on over here and write up the Bible or the offer design here, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter what we write. Boom. I want to see what happens if I overlay this. You guys can see this is also gets stuck onto it, but that's not what we exactly want. I'd rather do hard light and just decrease the opacity a little bit maybe. You can see if I do normal, it's like this. If I do hard light, it's like almost blending in, so that's also good. This is great. And boom, let's get rid of all of this. What I want to do over here is this. Basically, we want to like start animating everything, right? So before we do that, I will just pretty much pre-compose all of this. Okay, so we have it in a new pre-composition. Boom. All of this is in a new pre-composition, right? And now is the main part of everything, the most important parts. So first thing, for example, we have the airplane, which is going to be the easiest movement. And the airplane is just going to be a position basically from here like until the end of animation. So our end of animation is going to be here. So I'll just take it until the last keyframe, and I'll tell you guys the trick that I do. I'll bring this out from here and do F9 and pretty much just push this, okay, and then pull this upwards. So this will come up. You can see the movement is very slow in the ending. So what I want to do is actually I will pull this so that it comes in faster, okay, and then just for the sake of movement a little bit, I'll just do a bit of movement. So what will happen is that it will come fast and then it will still consistently just keep moving very, very slowly. It's almost unnoticeable like this. So this is just for the sake of flow, all right? I just do this for the sake of flow. And then, you know, this new offer era thingy, this too, I just want to do an animation, okay? Same way, like bring this down. Or no, I did a mistake. No, I did not. Okay, bring it down from here, pretty much. Do the same graph, F9, boom, and boom. So you can see this is how it will come up. This is the starting movement. However, we just want to delay this so it comes a bit later. And then the hand, pretty much we're gonna take all of the three hands, okay? Do position, take it this far, bring it from down, and then the exact same graph as I showed you guys already. Now you guys can see the hands will come up. But I did one thing, is that this should actually be all the way to the left. And then the hands are gonna sequence out. So this will come and then this will come, this will come. So it's gonna be like this almost. And we wanna pull these closer because it's too slow now. So it's gotta be closer. It's gotta be faster, I mean. It's gotta be faster, boy. So like this, boom. With the airplane, the movement is cool. Now, before I go into the more deeper stuff, we wanna add one thing that can make the most significant difference to all of this. We want to add a drop shadow effect. Now I'll tell you how to do this drop shadow effect. It's very, very easy. So for example, let's say we have this building, right? Or let's say we have this certain thing. I want to go here and I want to go layer styles, okay? And then go to drop shadow. So once you have drop shadow, copy these settings. So now you guys can see these are basically the settings for drop shadow. And then I can just change up the angle. So if I change up the angle, you guys will see this will pop up over here, just like how it is now. So this drop shadow effect is amazing. Basically, you just want to make sure the spread is not high and stuff like that, and the size is 0. And just copy this layer style and paste it in all the places that we need. So for example, this building, I'm gonna paste the drop shadow and change up the angle just so it is on the right side. Okay, so now you guys can see the drop shadow is nice. We need it on the hands, very importantly. Paste it on each one of the hands. Let me go to hand number 1 and fix the angle and stuff. So I want it to be towards this side, obviously. I want the distance to be a bit more. Add a bit of noise. Cool. Go to hand number 2 and do the same thing. And just adjust each one of them one by one, right? So hand number 2 is also nice now. Hand number 3 is good. So we have the drop shadow in the places that we wanted. We also want it on our building, which is, I think, this file. Yep, paste it, and now we have it on our building as well. Now we want to add the shaky effect that we did at the very starting, if you guys remember. So first things first, what do we got? We have this thing. I'm just gonna pre-compose this. All right. So I'm gonna name this board 1. I'm gonna name this hands. We wanna pre-compose just to clean stuff up because it's way too dirty right now. I wanna have this as podium, pre-compose. Now we have these. Okay, so the microphone will go on the podium as well. So podium again, just undid. And then we have Alex Hormozi. We have the plane. We have the building. We have this, and we have the background. So now I'm gonna go on the board. Okay, pretty much on the outside, you guys are gonna see this anchor point. You want to take it up, down to over here. Just bring this down a little bit and go to rotation, wiggle, add posterize time first. The posterize time can be 5 or 4, whatever. And then the wiggle can be, for example, 1/3. So you will see this is moving right now. Maybe we make it 2/3, all right? And I will decrease the posterize time to 4. So yeah, now that looks good. So I want to take the same rotation and have it in a couple other places. For example, the hands. Paste it on each one of the hands. You guys can see now the hands are moving also. We gotta paste it on the airplane. Now the airplane is also moving. We gotta paste it on our building. Now the building is also shaking. And we gotta paste it on our this little thing as well. Now this is also shaking. Now the building, you can see some things feel like it's too much, especially like the building. So over here we want to adjust the wiggle. We want to make this like 1/2, so it's almost insignificant. And the same thing for like this building in the back. We want to make this 1/2. So this is just for the sake of flow and the unnoticeable human eyes that, you know, will not really recognize, but it will feel like something is happening. So you guys can see this is the movements that are happening. We don't want to do too much. Again, I even want to paste it on this little paparazzi thingy. So copy, paste, but the anchor point should be in the middle. So this is the whole point of the rescue event type of vibe, right? Is everything like literally shakes. And then the last part of it all almost is the Alex Hormozi hands, or Alex Hormozi. But before actually Alex Hormozi, we want to go on this thing on the over here, and we want to do the same drop shadow effect. So go layer styles. Now I don't have it copied anymore, so I kind of have to do it from scratch. White, make it white, and just make the size 0, make the opacity 100, decrease down the angle a little bit, and decrease the distance out a little bit. And now it's also over here. Okay, cool. So now almost the last part, we go on to Alex Hormozi's hands. Okay, we want to pre-compose these all even on the inside. And over here, I will rasterize the layer by doing this. So now you want to do something, right? Is I'm gonna pretty much go onto this puppet tool. Okay, add a couple of puppet points. Don't worry about what I'm doing. You're gonna know now. So boom, just add points randomly in different places just to make sure they don't move. So like this, okay? And then we want to add our last, like our one puppet over here and one puppet over here. So now you guys can see this is what I can do. I can move this, all right? And this is exactly what I wanted. So now I will pretty much just make it start from here, go like, let's say 1 second ahead, and do this. And then just press U on your keyboard, go over here, add an expression called loop out, and the loop out will be ping pong. So now see what's gonna happen. It will go right, and it will come back. And on top of the ping pong, we want to add posterize time. Make the posterize time like 4, so it's not actually like too smooth, it's shaky, right? And we want to just make this closer so it doesn't feel like that slow. Okay, maybe make the posterize time 8. Okay, 4 is too less, 8, and then extend it out. And then I will F9 and just do this graph. Yeah, that's cool. I like this. I like this a lot. So now Alex Hormozi's hands are moving as well. Not sure what's happening on the outside. Okay, so over here we want to de-rasterize the layer, and so it's gonna be fixed now. Perfect. So you guys can see this is what we have. Very simple, very clean. The only thing that took time from me is finding the assets. And pretty much now what I will do is import these 2 random paper textures, and I'll tell you what we'll do from these, alright? They're gonna be very, very useful. So I'm gonna take this paper texture, go on the inside, and go on any layer that I kind of want to texture out. So go over here and import the texture, and just place it in the middle. Do Ctrl Alt F or just scale it up. Add curves, alright? trust me, over here at curves, and you want to make this basically black, right? And so how can we make this black? Or you want to make like the black part pop up more. So this is how it looks. And what I'm gonna do now is add hue and saturate it so that it becomes like this. So you can see this became black. And pretty much now I will add an overlay effect. So you can see how Alex Hormozi looks. We want to decrease this overlay effect, and I want to track matte it. Then I want to turn on the Alex Hormozi layer. So see what's gonna happen when I turn it on and I turn it off. You can see a bit of texture, and the more I intensify it, the more it happens. And then you wanna basically just add the motion tile. There's a couple of ways you can do this, but okay, I'm gonna add the motion tile. Go to mirror edges, like just turn on mirror edges, and then go over here, do push rise time, maybe by 4, and then we can do either wiggle or we can do like a random position. So random position would be better. So do random and then position, and then see how it's moving. So it's really nice. And then this adds like a texture on our thing. Now you can see basically Alex Hormozi has this texture, right? So this was one of the textures, and then we have another texture which is even better, and I like it even more. So this, for example, on the building, on these buildings or something, I can add it, or maybe I can pre-compose all of these, okay, and literally add it on all of this. Then pre-compose it again. Now go onto this layer, boom, go onto Alex Hormozi's layer and just copy paste everything we did, okay, and then track matte it and add overlay. Turn that shit on, decrease this texture by a lot, and now you guys can see we added like this little movement, which is basically how, you know, they do this effect, and it looks really nice. I love it. And just to not ruin the contrast, I can do this and it's more significant. Now you guys can see there is a movement on this stuff as well, like a texture movement, and so it gives us more of the rescue vibe. And then the last part of it all, you can say, is literally, if you guys remember the reveal that I had, which is this one, I wanna do the same trick, do a cut over here, all right, go on to time, freeze on last frame, and pretty much just reveal this. And so this is how it's gonna reveal, and then extend this out, make it pre-revealed, and this is how it's pretty much gonna get revealed. So my partner Yazid actually gave me this reveal back then, and pretty much you guys can see this is the exact same reveal that guy has used. I don't know who edited that video, but it's actually good. And just do a cut over here and do freeze on last frame, and you guys will see now, or not freeze on last frame, sorry, actually it is freeze on last frame. I'm not sure what I did. So it's gonna start over here. We just want to extend it out a little bit, and we want to take this, you know, both of these above, so it's like blending in. We want to pre-compose what's above and basically track matte it to what's below. So now this is how it is. You guys can see the other part is gonna go, and this is going to reveal just like this. So now you guys can see this is, we have 13th of July 2021, and then pretty much this stays for a few seconds, and this scene comes up with the Alex Hormozi scene, and that is pretty much it. Now we just want to do a very slight camera movement, which is gonna be simple, all right? And it doesn't even need camera movement, to be honest. I can just pre-compose everything, right? And I will do a certain trick, as let's say I will scale this from here until like over here, okay? Let's say it's gonna zoom in this much, around 110. Okay, so you guys will see. Let's just start from 100. So it's gonna start like this. It's gonna zoom in to 100 and actually more than 10, like this. And then it's gonna pretty much zoom out to 105, let's say, this much. And the part where the reveal happens has to be in the middle point, like this. So now I'm just gonna go F9, boom, do this graph, take this in the middle, and take this as well in the middle. And now you guys can see the zoom in is gonna happen. Let's show it. The zoom in is happening, as you guys can see. It has to be a bit sharper though. It's happening. The zoom in happened over here, you guys can see, and then it's gonna pretty much zoom out. Okay, and just so we don't have the movement stopping, I can pretty much pull this up. So what will happen if I pull this up is that the movement will never stop. It will just keep going consistently. Okay, so now you guys can see it is consistently zooming in, okay, and then it's gonna pretty much zoom out. Boom. And it's gonna go to like 100 just so it's more significant. And I'm just fixing up a little bit of things. So boom, this is how it is. And then it's gonna slowly just go up to, let's say, 110. So boom, and then now it's just gonna slowly go up. Okay, not even 110, 105. Cool. But before it, something I forgot is all of this has to be like a push-rise time. All of this has push-rise time. It has to be laggy. 12 FPS scene. So 12 FPS. So this is how it's gonna be. You guys can see now it's a lot laggier, and pretty much this scene is also now significantly better with 12 FPS. And then with the zoom happening, it looks really clean. We just have, I think, a few more things left, which is just the final tweakings. Okay, nothing too much. So we want to go on the inside layer, which is going to be this layer. We want to add CC vignette to it, as you guys can see. CC vignette in this manner. And then we want to go on the outside layer again. We want to add basically Gaussian blur. Okay, and make the Gaussian blur around this much. And then just do the trick that I will show you guys right now, is add a little bit of a mask around the corner in this way. So boom, this, do minus, press M, go and do subtract. And then we want to go to the feather and just make the feather very high. So now there is like a very slight blur on the sides. Okay, and it creates this very aesthetic type of zoom. However, it feels too much, so I'll just make the Gaussian blur 10. Now it's almost like unnoticeable. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. By the way, this shit took 2 hours and 30 minutes of filming, guys, because I'm trying to find the fucking assets at the same time, and it was pain in the ass to find these assets. It was pain in the ass. However, you guys got the cheat code. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I covered 3 more parts inside of Editor's League, so make sure you don't miss out. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.